SMQBs episode 123. Perhaps you hear a little excitement in my voice tonight. I have a really good trivia question. This is a really great one.
Okay.
All right. In the expansion era, 3 times has a pitcher struck out the first 4 batters he faced in a game, with all 4 batters having been named to the All-Star game that season. So 4 strikeouts to start a game, all strikeouts against All-Stars that season. It's happened 3 times since 1961.
Randy Johnson.
No.
Okay,
Nope.
well, hold
That's
on.
a good guess,
hold on.
though.
Wait a minute. You just played the Rangers, right?
We did just play the Rangers.
Is that a hint?
It's a Patrick Corbin answer.
It is actually true. Patrick Corbin is one of the
God.
3. But this
That's
is
disgusting.
But it's happened 3 times. So can you name the other 2?
Since when did the expansion era begin?
1961.
First,
Catfish Hunter.
No.
That was a
So
great
was-
guess, by the way.
Was it somebody pitching against the Yankees? Obviously.
Nope.
Was it someone pitching against the Dodgers?
Milk.
Yeah.
This is very disappointing, Milk.
Whoa! Is it a Ray?
Oh yeah.
David
Well,
Price.
Nope.
Oh, it's not
Nope.
Price.
Nope.
Bob Gibson.
Blake Snell.
Nope. You gotta go back a little ways.
Oh,
The
Milk,
Rays?
you take us back to a good pitcher back then.
Oh, was he a lefty?
It was May of 2008, Milk.
Oh my God.
Did Tampa have a team? back
Did fuck. Did he throw a no-hitter? He's thrown an oh God, you
I don't
guys know
the answer to
him.
that.
Can you please put us out of our misery?
All right, yes, I will put you out of your misery. All right, first, you're right that it was Corbin just this past weekend striking out Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Josh Jung, and Adolis Garcia to start the game. Then you had on September 3rd, 2002, Roger Clemens striking out Johnny Damon, Shea Hillenbrand, Nomar Garciaparra, and Manny Ramirez.
Okay,
And
my
then-
guess is Matt Garza.
Nope.
Oh my.
Scott Kazmir
Oh, wow.
Oh God, I forgot
Striking
about that
out.
guy.
striking out Ian Kinsler, Michael Young, Josh Hamilton, and Milton Bradley.
So
Pretty
the
good
Rangers
stat.
Rangers own the distinction twice.
Twice, yes.
Oof.
That's crazy. Milton
Yeah.
Bradley. Wow.
That
was a good one.
Wow.
That's
was
a
a good
crazy
one.
stat.
That was
So
a good one. Congrats on that. Was that this weekend?
it was this weekend.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Patrick Corbin setting records left and right.
Would that bring his ERA under 6?
He's under 5. He's under 5. And he's got this bizarre thing going where he has an insanely great start and then an insanely horrible start. I mean, like his last 6 follow that track. Not like mediocre or anything. Either lights out fantastic or like a softball pitcher.
Sounds like Domingo Herman.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
By the way,
Exactly.
isn't it funny that from your World Series team, the one pitcher you have left is Patrick Corbin?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know. Well, technically we have Strass. He's still getting paid.
Yeah.
Getting paid handsomely.
Are the
Right.
Rays going
So
to
is
make
Bobby
the
Bo.
playoffs? Are the Rays
Yeah.
going to make the playoffs or no?
Oh, are we getting into MLB right now?
MLB,
might as
let's
well.
do it. It's All-Star break. It's home run derby tonight. Let's do it. Are the
Is that
Rays
tonight?
collapsing?
I guarantee you the Rays make the playoffs. They and the Orioles own the AL East. It's over.
Oh,
That
boy.
sounds like a rejected Yankees
Wow.
fan who is
Wow.
throwing in the. Let me tell you something.
And
There is nothing better in this world than a Yankees fan who's throwing the towel in on the season.
By the way,
Nothing.
the brilliance of our owners and GM solve this problem is to hire a new hitting coach. That's
Okay.
it. That's the one major tweak.
You know what was helpful was that Aaron Judge is hurt. How long is he out for? That'll
He's
help
out
you
for the
guys.
season. I think we're done.
You
We're
think,
done.
you think he's out for the season?
Yeah, I think he's
From
out
a
for the
toe?
season. Yeah.
Well,
Oh
if he's out for
my
the season, you
God.
are done.
Those toe injuries are
He was
tough.
supposed to have surgery and he rejected the surgery.
Ooh. Oh
Hmm.
my God.
Wow.
Well, it's a good thing they didn't sign him to a $500 gazillion contract last year.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, what's going on in baseball? Milk, are you guys going to collapse?
I
Possibly.
I don't know. I will tell you this. Obviously, we said this over the weekend. Pitching is everything, I think was the text. So the Rays had an unbelievably hot start, as we all know. I think since like May 19th, they're 500.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a game above. But we've lost 3 starting pitchers. And pitching is everything. I mean, look, we had to start a 21-year-old over the weekend who got against the Braves, and he got waxed. And so if we don't, Rasmussen's out for the year, Springs is hurt, McClanahan's coming back in like a couple weeks probably. But if we don't get, I think we have to make a trade to get
You
somebody.
want Luis Severino?
Yes, I like Stroman from the Cubs. That would be awesome. But you cannot rely on, yesterday, the Braves series was a great example. The Rays have the potential to put up 10 runs a game every game, right? They're bats, but you can't rely on that because it's not going to happen. And if you don't have good pitching and you don't have quality pitching, in the beginning of the season, we were winning the 2-1, 3-2 games. Now you see it, we give up, we'll give up 5-6 runs now with inferior pitching, and we're losing. And if we don't turn that around, the Orioles are going to take the lead in the AL East. It's just a matter of time. I think we're in real trouble. I think they have to make a trade, and we are not equipped to make trades or spend money.
No, you guys, if you're trading, it's usually not a good thing for you, right? It usually means
well,
you're giving away players.
We have a stacked minor league, as you know, so we've got some equity there to give away, but I mean, we can't spend money for sure. So it's going to be, look, the Orioles are hot as shit, hottest team in MLB. They've been the biggest surprise, I think. I mean, I don't know who would disagree with that.
The Reds.
For the Reds.
The Reds would disagree with that, but
Diamondbacks might
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
Just with the history.
Verderami definitely would.
yeah, Burner Army wants to beat you up
Right.
from that comment.
The Diamondbacks, they suck. They won't make the postseason. But I don't know. I mean, who is y'all's biggest? Let me ask y'all this: who's your biggest surprise, disappointment, and has your World Series pick changed?
I'll say
Since-
this. The only thing better than a Yankees fan giving up on the season in July is a Mets fan who thought that they were going to win it all, and they suck ass. I mean, the Mets, now they've made a little run lately, but they're just too far back. For me, while we all said in the beginning of the season when we did our preview that the Mets, something will always happen, it's still somewhat surprising just how bad they've been so far this year. I think the Mets and the Padres are 2 pretty big surprises.
Well, isn't that like the Family Guy thing, right? Where they throw the first pitch at opening day for the Mets, and they're like, "There's opening day, the first pitch, and the season's over for the Mets."
And the season's over.
And their best pitcher just got hurt.
Yeah,
It's
I agree with the
incredible.
Padres. I think the Padres are the biggest surprise. They're not totally out of it, but I mean that they're pretty far back at this point. That's a major disappointment there.
They've got a big series this weekend.
They do.
Yeah, they
rooting-
do.
Yeah.
we're all
Come on
rooting
into
for the
Philadelphia.
Padres. Let's go,
Yeah.
San Diego. Let's turn it around. Let's turn it around. It's
Yeah,
time.
I agree with those surprising disappointments. The positive surprises for me, not so much the Orioles, because they were turning it on last year. We could tell they were a good team last year. But the Reds and the Diamondbacks are huge surprises to me. And God, I think the Reds are the story of the year. That play this weekend where De La Cruz stole second, third, and home in 2 pitches. 2 pitches
Yeah.
were thrown
Willie
during
Mays
that time
Hayes.
that he stole 3 bases. Just amazing. It's exciting.
The one where he went third to home was really like a little league play, you
It
know,
was like a
where
little league play.
right where you're kind of running down the third base, and if the pitcher's not paying attention, you just go all the way in. And I used to be so mad at those managers that would let the kids do that, but the major leagues, like, that shouldn't happen.
No, that should not happen.
No, but they were just so pissed that they had given up this second steal on 1 pitch at that point, or 2 pitches.
Yeah.
But he is really just electric to watch. I mean, he's something else to watch. I mean, in all positions. I mean, his arm, I saw him live last weekend, I guess. And I mean, his arm, oh my God, bananas.
Yeah. And they just drafted the second best pitcher in college coming
Who's
out
that?
in the draft, right? The guy from Wake Forest with the long hair.
Yes.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
What's his name? Rhett Lauder.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, as I mentioned a couple pods ago, that now the Reds are such a pleasant surprise. They're not only filling up the Cincinnati stadium. Now people are going to the visiting stadiums to see this kid. Like, how crazy is that? The Reds are putting people in the stands when they're on the road.
Right.
Bison, you probably heard of this guy for the Diamondbacks, but I haven't. Zach Gallen, did you know about him last year? Your pitcher?
Zach Gallen.
Gallon.
I thought you're Gallon. Yeah, I know who Gallon is. I thought you were gonna get into Corbin Carroll.
No, Corbin Carroll has made the All-Star team as a rookie, and it's probably going to be Rookie of the Year. But I didn't know who Zach Gallen was until this year. He leads the league in innings pitched and in walks and hits, the lowest number of walks and hits per inning. And there's only 6 in. He's the 6th lowest ERA in the league, in Major League Baseball, not the league, not the National.
And
League
he's starting
the
All-Star game for the National League against
Garrett
Garrett Cole.
And he's on the Diamondbacks, for God's sakes. I mean, they don't get much attention, so I just had not heard of him before.
Well, he's got a 2.7 WAR, which is the 7th highest wins above replacement for pitchers. And he has the 6th lowest ERA, and he's got 11 wins, which is tied for the most in the National League. What else? His walks and hits per inning pitch ratio is 1.048. So
first in Major League Baseball, right?
I think so. Yep. I mean, he's just every stat is up at the top, or top 3, and also he's top 3 in the National League in innings pitched. So he's actually going into the games and pitching a little bit too.
Yep.
Story for all these teams, Diamondbacks, all these teams, is going to come down to bullpen. I was having this discussion with Nick Verderami. They really don't have a bullpen. So, when Milka's saying the Rays need a 4th or 5th pitcher, right now, I feel like this year, with so many teams in the mix, you have so many teams that are buying and not enough teams with assets to sell, both for starting pitching and back end bullpen pitching. The Phillies need a 5th starter. They're throwing out a young kid who is not sustainable as the solution. Christian Sanchez, he's doing okay, but they need a real 5th starter. There's not really anybody to be found, and they need bullpen help. The Phillies went to the World Series last year on the backs of Jose Alvarado, Zach Eflin, and Sir Anthony Dominguez. None of them are playing for the Phillies right now. Eflin's on the Rays, and both Dominguez and Alvarado are hurt.
Toby,
So,
we can help you with that.
what do you got for me?
I got one, Patrick Corbin. If you like him,
he's anything but relief.
We'll throw Steven Strasburg in with the deal too, if you like.
No, thank you. I don't need a surgery patient.
Are the Phillies the victim of just being in a really good division? Like, we're so high on the Reds, but I mean, the Phillies and the Reds have the same record pretty much.
So the
Phillies and the Yankees have the same record, and I'm saying the Yankees suck. So
the Phillies in the first half,
were
something like, I don't know, whatever. They were basically 500 against teams expected to make the playoffs this year. Of the remaining 73 games, only 22 of the Phillies' remaining 73 games are against teams expected to make the playoffs. 51 are teams who probably won't. So that's how we made the playoffs last year. I think we went 16-3 against the Expos in the Nationals last year. And that's how we made the playoffs. You got to beat up on bad teams. And so a lot also in the second half is going to be about against second half schedules.
Okay, but why have you not talked about the Marlins? How
The
are
Marlins.
Oh, the Marlins.
they have to
Yeah.
be a huge surprise.
Huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
They really have.
I mean, I have to say, I went
excellent
and
hitting.
saw them the other night and literally got in, sat down and watched the game and looked at the Marlins and was like, wait a minute, they're in a wild card spot. I had no idea at the time. I was like, wait, what? Are you kidding me? The Marlins?
They can hit and they are fast,
Yes.
by the way. A lot of power.
And Pope, who we're missing, I think he'd complain
Who?
that we're
Who?
Who?
our European traveler. I think he'd complain that we're not talking about the Rangers, but I don't think that the Rangers are really that big of a surprise. I mean, they spent money to get some super studs in their infield, in their pitching lineup. Yes, they're a surprise in that they weren't nearly this good at all in the last few years, but I think they built the team the right way through free agency. I don't know. Are you guys surprised by the Rangers?
Yeah, a little bit because
A
they're the
little bit.
Rangers. It's like saying the Jets picked up a bunch of great players and are having a good season. That would surprise me because they're the
and
Jets.
when DeGrom went down too,
Yeah,
That's true.
I mean, Pope was despondent, right? When
Yeah.
DeGrom went down, and you thought, oh wow, that's going to leave a mark. That was a big signing for them. So I mean, I think it's a little surprising. House, I got a
Rangers
question.
also had a good draft. They picked up your man.
Why are we giving credit for Pope being a Rangers fan?
Oh no,
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
This is
That's true.
absurd.
That's true.
The question is, who is he
is-
rooting for in the All-Star game? Since it's basically Rangers versus Braves.
Well, I'm sure
I
it's
don't
the
know if you
Braves
guys
because they
have-
have the best record in baseball right now. So he's a
Yeah.
diehard Braves fan
He
today.
is slowly, if you've kept track of, you got to watch him closely. If you look at the verbiage of his texts, he is slowly trying to make himself a Rangers fan.
Oh yeah.
As,
Well, fortunately, we have an SMQB pod with his background being his childhood tickets to an Atlanta Braves game, and we are not letting him forget that.
No, we are not.
I think he
House-
said we the other day.
Do the Phillies have any All-Stars?
Yes, we have Nick
Ooh.
Castellanos, who's having
Oh,
a
yeah.
great year in
He
right
was having a
field.
great year. Yeah.
And then we just had an injury replacement, Craig Kimbrell, who's 14 for 14 in save opportunities, who's having a great year.
What is wrong with Trey Turner?
He's not seeing off-speed pitching, and it's embarrassing. When he gets two strikes, he gets a slider. He cannot see off-speed pitching all of a sudden. It is crazy. My wife likes to say that she's a big baseball fan, and she believes it's a weight of a contract thing that Castellanos had last year when we signed him to a big contract and then couldn't perform. And he's 1 year past that. Now he's doing great. Maybe Trey just needs to get past the weight of the contract thing. I don't know. He's lost.
If you look at the three guys the Nats lost after the World Series, or traded away or lost, right? Rendon, Turner, and Scherzer. Not sure losing any of those guys is so bad at this point, right? I mean, for the prospects.
I have a baseball question for you guys. I was at the baseball game the other day, and how the pitcher pitches a pitch, and then you've got the speed and the kind of pitch it was, and all the stats of the pitcher. When you guys grew up, did you ever hear about either playing baseball or seeing on the pitcher stats a pitch called the sweeper?
Yeah, sort of. It's just
What?
It's just a curveball that sort of moves
Like
a
a slow
different way.
curve.
Yeah, that kind of cuts across more so than up down.
That was a new one to me. I'd never heard of the sweeper. Nobody talks about it on TV. Oh, this guy's got a great sweeper.
Who's throwing the sweeper?
It's like a high slider.
Where did you see that? Where did you see that?
At the
Like on
baseball
the
game on the scoreboard. You know where it
Baseball
says,
game.
"Oh, he pitched
Yeah.
a 91-mile-per-hour sweeper."
Yeah, so let me give you guys a little inside scoop on that. So I interned for the Rays, and one of my jobs, and I knew nothing what I was doing, was to watch the game and then put on the controller the miles per hour and the type of pitch.
No way, you did that?
And I was 19 years old. I knew nothing what I was doing, and I was like, "Ugh, I guess that's a slider. I have no fucking clue." So I would put slider, so everybody would think like, "Oh, the guy just threw a slider." I had no idea what I was doing. It's
Oh
some
my
intern.
God.
It's some intern at that stadium that's doing it. He has no clue. He doesn't know what a sweeper is. He just thinks he's supposed to put that.
This is
Don't
such a
buy
great
into anything
revelation.
like that. Yes,
Well,
I'm
Well,
telling you.
here's what Bob Melvin says about it. He said it's basically just new age baseball talk. It's a slider. A slider probably has a little more depth, and the sweeper comes across a little more. He says
You
so.
can't throw a
that's
91-mile-an-hour curveball. There's no such thing, right?
yeah.
gotta be a slider.
Nobody's. You're not going to hear that in the All-Star game. Say, "Oh, that was a great sweeper pitch by Cole."
No, MLB Statcast created the new classification this year
Okay,
That's
so it is
for
new.
the scoreboard. Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not. I mean, it's new. It's new as far as Statcast and all that. But I've heard that term over the years. It's just guys had different sorts of sliders and curves and sweep. I mean, they're all the same thing. They're all off-speed pitches that move, right?
Who is your guys' new team? The new team's going to the World Series now, given where we are now. Forget about whatever we were wrong about in the beginning of the season.
God, I'll tell you what, I really like Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Atlanta and God knows who from the AL.
I would be, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
the
tell you right
AL
now,
is-
the biggest team I'm selling short is the Guardians and anyone out of the Central. So it's not going to be
No
that.
one's above 500, I don't think, in that
No.
division.
No, I mean, don't you have to stick with the Astros? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're right.
I think it's going to be Astros Braves.
Ugh.
It's hard
you
to disagree
do
with
really. God,
that. I don't trust the Rays. I don't.
The
And do you
Braves-
what
trust the
about
Or-
Texas? What's wrong with Texas?
I just feel like when they
It's
get to
Texas.
the postseason, they'll
Yeah, I
blow
know.
up.
But they have a great coach. I mean, that guy can hold them together.
I like the experience of Houston. I don't know.
Well, okay? So who's a surprising team that you think will make the postseason?
Other than the Reds?
Other than the Reds, the Orioles.
Like,
Yeah, I mean somebody who's not in a spot
back.
right now. Like who's going to make a run and get in?
Someone who's going to pull a Cardinals late season run.
Well, listen, I did hear from often loyal watch listener Tad Thomas that he's ready for the Cardinals to turn it around and make it to the playoffs.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what he said.
Not
They're like
this year.
30 games under 500.
They're
I
pretty
could
far under.
see- I could see Seattle. I mean, they kind of did that last year.
I'm going with the
pretty hot.
Padres. I'm staying loyal. I'm going with the Padres.
That
I'd
could
like to
happen.
see that happen.
I think the Padres get
That
hot
would be
and
fun
get in.
for baseball.
I'm
Yeah.
a little nervous about how the Giants are hanging around. The Giants make me nervous. They do have some timely hitting, some decent pitching. The Giants make me a little nervous.
Can we all
Yeah.
agree on one thing? That the Diamondbacks are going to crash and burn and just they're
Absolutely.
not going to
I mean,
be
that-
there.
Oh,
if
yeah,
I had
nerd.
to pick
Suck it.
one,
There's no,
if I
no
had
doubt,
to pick a
right?
team to collapse in the second half, it'd have to be Arizona.
It'd be the Diamondbacks.
It'd have to be,
Has to be.
or the Rays. One of the two. Could be us. Oh, nerd.
Well, okay. So All-Star game tomorrow. Home run derby.
Who's going to win the home run derby? Who do you guys like?
Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Fairly safe.
Yeah.
Interesting that Mookie Betts is in it this year. I think that's kind of fun. That Betts is going to play.
How is he? I mean, he can't win that thing.
I don't
see
know.
that at all.
Who do you got, Milk? Are you taking the guy behind you?
I mean, I gotta. No, I gotta go with my Tampa Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Oh, you're claiming him too. Okay, I got you.
He went to my high school. Come on.
His mom was a classmate of mine in college. I didn't know her, but my good friend,
But
my
that's a
roommate
That's the
did.
story. That's the story he's sticking to.
That's
Yeah.
a Pope. That's a Pope stretch. All right.
Yeah.
Easy.
No, I did not know her, but my roommate did.
Do you guys know who the seeds are? So the one
No.
seed is Robert Jr. taking on Adley Rauschman, the 8th seed. Alonso's the 2 seed going up against 7 seed Rodriguez. The 3 seed is Betts against number 6 Vlad Jr. The 4 seed is Garcia going up against your guy Arazarena, the 5th seed. Keep an eye on Rauschman.
I could see
Oh.
Vlad Jr. I could see Vlad Jr. pulling it off.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
should
I
be
mean
fun.
he makes.
Is
he makes
Rauschman, is he the
sense.
Orioles catcher?
Yeah,
Wow.
How
I
is
didn't
he in
realize
it? He has like 10 home runs, right?
I don't know how many. Let's see, how many does he have?
He doesn't have that many. Oh, it's kind of a weird one. Maybe
He's a
like
stud,
Julio
though.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, he is.
I like Vlad. He's got the most potential. God, I didn't know Mookie Betts had 22 home runs.
That's a lot of home runs for him. I didn't realize that either.
That's crazy.
I didn't realize he had that many. All
All
right,
right,
you guys
well-
got anything else on baseball?
Go Phils.
No,
Anything other than that?
no Rays.
Go Phils.
Fire Brian Cashman.
By
Leave
the way,
leave
I
the prep
love-
kid alone. Leave
I
the
love-
prep kid alone.
every time Rooster says something in a text like this despondent woe is me about the Yankees, he's like, we need to get rid of this person, and Mike Stanton, blah, Giancarlo Stanton.
And then he
day
hits
hit
2
like a
homers the
4.
next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he's out the next day with a tweaked hamstring.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
if
right.
Aaron Judge is out for the year,
We're toast.
talk about implosion.
Rodon came back, pitched 5 solid innings, and I think we supported him with 0 to 1 runs. I can't remember which.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Baseball's taking its midsummer break, and then we'll heat up again. And while that's happening, NFL training camp is starting to come to people's minds, right? I mean, I
Thank God.
I saw a thread. Is that what you say? A thread today
thread.
that said that we are 9 weeks away from the first game.
God.
And it'd be
Nine Sundays away or something.
We're only
it
9
have to
Sundays away
come?
from seeing Baker Mayfield take the helm and take
Oh.
Can we push the season back some? Does it have to start?
Like a decade?
Oh man.
Malik Willis may be available to you, Milk.
That's
Oh.
true.
God. I mean, I'm way more excited about fantasy football season starting.
Yeah, me too.
This is
So what you guys Rooster, you have an exciting season for your Giants coming up. You got Darren Waller this year. That's a big pickup for you, right?
Right. I really think so. And to me, the most exciting part of the change in the Giants is probably the most boring part, the offensive line. We picked up John Michael Schmidt at center, who could be, one of the greats at center. And
His name is my name too.
yeah. Andrew Thomas is rounding out into a Pro Bowl level left tackle. And it looks like if Evan Neal can follow in his footsteps, I'm going to be really excited about our pass protection and run game. And then Waller, my God, if that guy could stay healthy. I mean, now you had him on fantasy football a year or two ago, Bison. And then I remember there was one game where he caught like 18 straight passes.
Yeah, and then he was out for 3 days. I mean, 3 games, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not unlike.
If we can keep him healthy, I'll be very excited about that. And then one more year under Brian Daboll's system, it's exciting. Another team I'm excited about that isn't necessarily new, but that things are starting to round into shape is the 49ers. They didn't have Christian McCaffrey for all of last year. So this will be their first, off-season camp with him. And Ayuk, I've been saying for years that Ayuk is going to be a star wide receiver. And last year, end of the year, he started.
And one of these years, you're going to be right.
No, I think it's this year. The last year at the
Never.
end of the year, he rounded out into that kind of form. And it sounds to me like Brock Purdy is ready. He's been throwing since early June. I think the Niners could be tough this year. Their defense is amazing. They're going to be tough.
I mean, Purdy, how is he back? I'm not buying into San Fran at all.
It's
They
a
got
wouldn't
some-
buy
12.
I
It's a
wouldn't buy him if he were
12-week
healthy.
recovery.
I mean, yeah, you've got Purdy. Then what do you have? I mean, didn't they have Sam Darnold and Trey Lance?
Yeah.
Trey Lance and Sam Darnold and Brock
but
Purdy. I would be concerned.
They've been there with Jimmy G, and I mean, they seem to.
Jimmy G is good quarterback.
Listen,
don't-
the most exciting thing that's going to happen this year is seeing Jimmy G in Vegas. I mean,
Yeah.
what could fucking go wrong
Yeah,
there?
right.
What
Right.
could possibly
He's
go
going to
wrong?
miss a game one Sunday because he
Yes.
wakes up and doesn't know where he is.
Yes, that is very
Alert the porn
possible.
stars. Alert the porn stars.
Roosters,
What
that
else?
San-
What else
that
you-
Sa- that San Francisco defense is missing one very, very big piece, and that is D'Amico Ryans, who's now the Texans coach.
Yeah,
and
you're
I
right.
think Ryans is a big, big part of that. I'm interested to see what happens to that defense without him.
What do you guys think Sean Payton does for the Broncos?
Well, that's what I was going to just raise. I mean, what happens to Russell Wilson with Sean Payton as his coach? I mean, does he? I mean, do the Broncos get what they thought they were getting?
I think that Sean Payton is not going to tolerate a lot of the stuff that Russell's coaches have tolerated in the past. I mean, if you think about the downfall of Russell Wilson, it goes back to one play in the Super Bowl, where in order to soothe his giant ego, Pete Carroll threw the ball on the goal line instead of handing it off to Lynch, and the Patriots intercepted the ball, and they lost the Super Bowl that they had
What?
in the bag.
Why does every guy's ego story come out like 5 years after the game? And
You've
I mean-
seen all the shit from his teammates. None
I
of
know,
them
but
liked
none of
him.
his- none of his teammates wanted to
teammates
say that when
like
they were
or
winning.
respect him. And Sean Payton is going to run the ball down the throats of the AFC this year. Apparently Javonte Williams is ready. They have a great offensive line now. I think they're just going to run the shit out of the ball, and Russell's going to make a bunch of safe throws.
I
They're in such a
am
tough
buying.
division.
I'm not selling on the Broncos. I am buying on the Broncos. I think Russell Wilson's head will get together, and to the extent he is going to throw, I think you talk about Brandon Ayuk. That's the guy you want to watch. For me, I want to watch what Jerry Jeudy does this year. I think Jeudy has the potential to be a superstar with a good quarterback. We'll see if Russell Wilson is that good quarterback, but he's got the right coach for it. I think the Broncos, they were 5-12 last year. I add 4 wins to that at least.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
what about the Jets? Are the Jets still the Jets, even though they got Aaron Rodgers? I say yes,
Yes.
they are.
yeah,
And Aaron Rodgers is no longer Aaron Rodgers either.
nope.
oh no, man.
But I think all of us really like Breece Hall. He's healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
true.
right. We all really like Sauce Gardner.
Yep.
He's a stud. We like Garrett Wilson, their wide receiver. They picked up Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, who
And McCole
Rodgers is-
Hardeman.
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, actually, talk about a coach adding or subtracting. Their problem is that who's running their offense? That guy who was a deer in headlights, who was the coach of the Broncos last year, Nathaniel Hackett.
God.
That's the Jets offensive coach.
But he might be a better coordinator.
I think he was a pretty good coordinator at Green Bay. He just is not head coach material.
Their defense is pretty damn good.
Yep.
And I think Rodgers is a huge addition. That they were 7-10.
Yeah.
I mean, they could get 11-6 very easily. That's huge.
They got to play the Bills twice and the Dolphins twice.
That's true.
I got
They're in
a
they're in a
question.
tough division.
House, you're losing your beloved Eagles lost both coordinators, right?
Yeah.
What is that? How does that shake out?
It means you made the Super Bowl, and they're very young, popular. Listen.
I know why it happened. I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
that could be a big thing. I mean, everyone's
We were ready to
favoring the
run
Eagles.
Jonathan Gannon out of town. He was never that popular. His stats were good, but there was a lot of questions with his scheme. He went to the Cardinals.
Okay.
I think the bigger loss is Shane Steichen.
I mean,
our offensive coordinator who went to the Colts.
What was the defensive coordinator who you hated? Who is it?
Jonathan Gannon or Jim
Gannon.
Schwartz? Yeah.
Gannon's who you hated, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the storyline now that you're ready to run him out of town just because he had signed on to become the head coach before, and everybody these storylines come up after the fact all the time.
He was unpopular during it. Don't you guys know the
I
most?
don't remember that. I
Don't
don't
you guys
remember
know
saying
the
that.
most important change coming to next year? Don't you guys know the most important thing is the change in the uniforms coming for these teams?
Yes.
Did you guys know that the
I love those
Tennessee
old
Titans,
universe.
the Tennessee Titans are going to be running out with the Houston Oilers uniforms for some games? Those are amazing.
Yeah.
The creamsicles in Tampa.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
The Kelly Green is
The
coming
Harold
back.
Carmichael uni.
And we
The
will
love it.
play
The,
like
the
creamsicles
Seahawks are
used
running
to play.
back the 90s
Yeah,
uniforms.
love it.
NFL got smart.
Absolutely. We should play half our games in the
What do you think?
creamsicles.
Who's the new running back you got in the off seasons for the
Are
Eagles?
you-
For the Eagles?
Oh, Rashad Penny
No.
Swift.
Swift.
Yeah, Swift.
Yeah.
He could be big, right? I mean,
Yeah,
is
that's
he
a
healthy?
big pickup.
Is he healthy?
Yeah, he's healthy. He's fine.
If the Eagles would just run one running back, one lead running back, 30 times a game with that offensive line, he could be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
And then have
They're gonna
Penny
run the
come
ball a
in
lot
and
this
punish him at the end of the game.
they're going to run the ball a lot.
I think
You
we
guys-
could probably all agree though that the Cowboys are going to suck,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
right?
always.
They're going to be terrible.
Yes, of
horrendous.
course. Of course.
I mean, there's very little they can do to improve. I mean, Dak is terrible.
How many
Pollard-
times can you give Pollard the ball?
I don't know. And Pollard
Right.
probably, now that Pollard's the guy, he probably won't produce. I think it's going to be very sad. Mike McCarthy is dead man walking already, right? It's very
sure.
sad. It's going to be a
Short
sad
leash.
season in Dallas.
What
Yeah,
do you
short
guys
leash.
think about? Is this the year that the Cleveland Browns take a step forward? I mean, Deshaun Watson maybe has put some of the problems from last year behind him, gets a full season. They brought on Zadarius Smith from the Vikings. I don't know how they pulled that one off to add to Myles Garrett. They picked up Elijah Moore. There's rumors that they could still get D-Hop. I don't know. I find the Browns kind of intriguing in that division. Yeah, you've got the Bengals. Steelers, Ravens have some question marks. I know they brought in Odell and Lamar's got his contract, but the Browns 7-10. I think they take a couple wins forward. How many? I don't know.
Yep. I was reading something about analysis of teams' offensive lines, and the Browns are rated elite in the offensive line category.
Guys.
Chubb is healthy, and they
Yeah.
have a quarterback who can actually elude the rush
crazy.
and maybe
This
make a
is-
couple of throws
Guys,
downfield. They're going to be
this is-
good.
Just stop.
Their defense.
I
is
mean,
awesome.
seriously, just you guys, you're talking about, I'm sorry, the Browns.
The Browns are going to be good. I'm with Toby. I'm with
The
House.
Browns are the Mets.
No,
Period.
no, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They are.
It
They
all
will
comes
suck.
down to Deshaun.
That's true.
Yeah.
It all comes down
Milk,
to that.
I want to know, are you scared of the Falcons in your division or no?
God, no. I mean,
No. Their changes, they don't scare you at all?
No, I mean, I think the Saints are probably
Really?
the front runner.
Who's the
Yeah,
Falcons?
I mean, they have the most.
Desmond Ritter.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
he's just one sprained ankle away from Taylor Heineke coming in and
That's true.
saving the day.
hey, it's
The
better
legend
than-
of Taylor-
Talk about a team that's going to run the ball a lot.
The legend of Taylor Heineke.
the NFC
South.
South will suck again next year. I don't care that Derek Carr's not that great.
I think he's underrated.
I saw a stat where he has one of the worst touchdown percentages in the red zone, like in the NFL. Something
Ooh.
like he completely collapses in the red zone.
Is Michael Thomas back?
Yeah, I think he actually is.
God, he's ancient.
Ancient, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll tell you what, I'm really excited to see Detroit. I'm really excited to see Jacksonville. I mean, I think these
Yeah.
are types.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
With Ridley.
Yeah.
I think
Jacksonville will be fun.
Lawrence, and is this the
Does-
year? Like, it's at what
Does
point
Lawrence supplant? Does he supplant? What's his name in San Diego?
Justin Herbert.
No way.
Herbert as the guy, as the new guy. I mean, like we've been saying Herbert's the guy, and he's he's going to
But
be
he
the guy to
can't-
go to the Super Bowl, and they haven't made it happen. Is Trevor Lawrence now the guy?
Maybe.
He'll be
gonna
right
have a
behind
big year.
Herbert, I think.
Don't try to steal Travis Etienne away from me in the draft.
I agree with that. I think he's gonna have a massive year.
Don't take
And
him
I
from
think
me.
like this is the year. At what point does like Buffalo have to do something? I mean, I know they had the tragic situation last year, but like at some point they've got to make like a serious run
Like
here.
win a Super Bowl?
Yes. Like at what point it's just like every year it's Josh
And,
Allen.
and
was-
is
and then it's-
Stephon
like the
Diggs the
Vikings.
Kyrie Irving of the NFL?
Yes. That's what I
Oh,
want to
wow.
know. Is that real beef between Diggs and Allen? Because if it is, they got problems.
Yeah, because Allen is
Yeah.
bent over backwards to try to protect Diggs from criticism, and
Everywhere Diggs goes, he's a problem, right?
yeah, so far.
So far.
Yeah.
Hey, Milk. Speaking of Detroit, last year they had, I think the Jamal Williams led the league in touchdowns and is now in the Saints, so maybe that will help with the red zone problem.
Yeah. Could. I don't know. I
So
think
much
it's
to
a-
watch. So much
Yeah.
to watch. So,
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. I'm glad training camp's starting.
Yes, agreed.
all right.
Except for Tampa.
Who's got a punch?
I have one.
Oh, good.
You know how my latest pet peeve is sort of middling, mediocre players who try to get attention by trolling stars.
Mm.
Oh, I know. where this is
Like
going.
that
Give me an
dickhead,
example of
like that
this.
dickhead that Memphis got rid of recently.
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. Oh, that's where I thought you were
Dylan
going.
Brooks. No. My this one that really annoys me is Dennis Rodman. Dennis
Okay.
Dennis
Rodman.
Rodman.
Dennis Rodman?
Dennis
He's still
Rodman.
relevant?
First of all,
Dennis Rodman.
I should be going down to Guantanamo to punch him in the face because he's buddies with Kim Jong-un. That's enough. But what he's done recently, let's face it, when he was on the championship Pistons team, he was the 5th or 6th best player on that team. When he was on the championship Bulls teams, he was maybe the 4th best player on that team. And now he's running his mouth saying that if Larry Bird were to play today, he'd have to play in Europe because he couldn't cut it in the NBA. What a
That's
fucking
absurd.
joke that is. That is a joke. It's just
That-
the worm trying to get a little attention
Turning.
because he's
The
now
worm turning.
irrelevant. He's irrelevant. And wearing dresses and stuff isn't doing it for him, and visiting murderous dictators. So now he's got to go after the legends of the
That was
game.
too good.
Go fuck yourself, worm. There's a punch
Wow.
right to your pierced nose.
Wow.
Wow, that was
thought we'd-
awesome.
I never thought we'd punch Dennis Rodman.
Didn't have that
I
on the
really didn't.
bingo card today.
No.
I didn't think that would happen ever.
All right, good one.
Good one.
Anyone got a lasso?
I got a Lasso. Do you guys know? I'm guessing you don't, but do you know who Hannah Dingley is?
No.
Have you heard this name?
Oh,
Hannah
John Michael Schmidt's friend,
Yes, exactly. It's the-
Dingleheimer Schmidt.
Yes, she is the date to John, whatever. No, Hannah Dingley is now the manager of the Forest Green Rovers, which is a second division team in England. She's the first woman who will ever manage one of the England's top 4 flight teams, which is a really big deal. We've talked on here before about, like, I don't know, would it be Dawn Staley? We've talked about, dugout coaches, but it's going to happen. There are women coaches across a lot of sports who probably are a hell of a lot more capable than some of the garbage that's coaching these teams. And it's cool to see that this woman, Hannah Dingley. She's on the Forest Green Rovers. She's the first woman manager ever of one of England's top 4 teams. She's in League 2. And while it's an interim manager and they are on the lookout for a permanent manager, I think that's a pretty cool development for what's happening to sports.
Very
That's
cool.
my Lasso.
Cool. That's
All right.
awesome.
All right, buzzer beaters. I got a couple tonight, but I want to throw one to you, House. What
Ooh.
is going on with Christian Pulisic?
Christian Pulisic is now on AC Milan for $22 million. They Chelsea sold him. He just could not get in the lineup over there. And he has gotten a hero's welcome over in Italy. They love having him there. And I don't know. I think given the right situation, I think he can not be a superstar, but I think he can be a very, very good player on a team. I think it's a good setting for him. The Premier League might have been a little bit above his grade, but I think he'll be very good in Serie A for AC Milan.
Captain America, the great American hope, couldn't cut it, huh?
It's a tough place to play.
That hurts. All right, who else has a buzzer beater?
Well, while we're on soccer, let me just give a shout out to the beginning of the 9th edition of the Women's World Cup, starting in Australia and New Zealand. Here's some cool things. They've upped the prize pool 300%. There's now $110 million at stake for these women, $270,000 per player on the winning team, $4.29 million to the winning team. Same as the Men's World Cup, 32 teams, bunch of groups. US, if you're looking for that, you know, the famous Alex Morgan, they're in Group E with Vietnam, Netherlands, and Portugal. And it should be a fun thing. It's going for a month, and it'll be on all the kind of the Fox channels with the final on Fox. But if you're looking for some great soccer on the women's side, the Women's World Cup begins next week in Australia and New Zealand. Go USA.
Awesome. Go USA.
Milk, you got a buzzer beater?
I do, yeah. Big congrats to American tennis player Christopher Eubanks. If you didn't hear, he won his round of 16 today. He's into the quarterfinals. African American. I think he played at Georgia Tech. He's like the number 43rd player in the country. So this is like a really big run. So he's got a huge quarterfinal match on Wednesday against Medvedev. So
Milk's covering
congrats to him.
tennis.
Wow.
Hey, it's
Wow.
Wimbledon time. Come
Wow.
on.
Wow.
You gotta love it.
Okay.
We have this is like the farthest an American male has gone in Wimbledon in like a decade. So we'll see. Full story.
Rooster,
I have one. I just can't believe I didn't
just
think of
pretend
this.
that whole tennis thing just didn't
Yeah,
happen.
I just can't
I'll
believe
edit that
I
out.
can't believe I didn't think of this as a Lasso. It's such a feel-good story. Larry Nasser was stabbed 10 times in prison the other day.
My God.
Saw that, and no one wept.
No one wept.
And no one
Oh
left.
my God. Ay, ay, ay.
All right. And hey, 2 last ones here from me. Congrats to Paul Skeens, the #1 pick in the MLB draft last night.
Good pickup. Good pickup.
Yep, very, very good pickup. I don't know. A lot of the prognosticators were saying that Pittsburgh was going to go with anybody but him, and that was all fool's gold. They were going with the generational pitcher from day one, it looks like. And then also, did you guys know that Wednesday is when the Netflix series Quarterback drops?
Oh,
This
the
is
one with Marcus Mariota?
Yes, Marcus Mariota, Kirk Cousins, and Mahomes.
Wow, that would have been fun 10 years ago.
Why is Mariota in that?
I have no idea.
But this is
No
their,
idea.
this is their response to, I guess, Drive to Survive and
golf.
Full Swing.
Yeah,
but it
this
drops
could be
on.
the train wreck.
You're not going to watch. Everybody out here is going to watch.
Of
Everyone
course.
out here is going to watch. So,
God.
all right. Anybody got anything else?
Nope.
All right, guys.
That's it, man.
Have a good week. We are probably off next week. You never know, but keep listening. or watch us on YouTube. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week, guys.
See ya.